So welcome everybody this morning to the historic 100th episode of Cute for Teams Champions Using Teams Effectively with your hosts, Ricardo and Stacy. You've seen our faces 100 times and you still showed up.
Seen your face almost 100 times. Yeah. I hadn't been here since the beginning, but I've sure enjoyed my time with Cute for sure.
Yeah. And some of the folks on the line are pretty much been around for a while too. So you know, this is an accomplishment for all of us. So yeah, we're if you're coming in new, I'll check the list, but this is office hours, ask me anything. And in a perfect world, we would have had something elaborate happening today on this 100th episode. And in fact, I did think of something. I figured I would go through the top 100 moments from Cute for Teams.
How long is this call?
Okay, yeah, let's change that to the top one moment. So yeah, I was just trying to think back and see if there was something to reminisce on. The only one I could really think of that was kind of funny, and in fact, I hope I did my sharing right, is the moment when Nash, who I don't know, many of you might remember when Nash used to join us, gave us a interesting way to show how on the Teams meeting to show that you'll be right back. So let me know if this audio doesn't play. Let's see. No audio.
No audio.
Let me so you guys are champions. What's the shortcut for bringing the presentation controls back? Anybody remember?
Hover at the top of your screen.
Right, but I got 4 monitors here, so I don't have a top. I need the shortcut. It's to control something. Let me just stop and reshare. You guys, there is a shortcut for bringing that back in addition to moving up to the top. But let me just reshare and GCC. All right, here we go. No, I didn't do it. One more time. Sorry. That. Click the box. Hit window. GCC. There we go. Okay, I'm good now. I think it's control space bar or something like that brings that presentation thing back. Go to sharing toolbar, control shift space. I know it was something like that. All right, thank you. But yeah, let me play this here. Or getting an email about the response. So it kind of depends on who you want to get the alert. But the form owners can get emails with the response. But I have used Power Automate, and I think I blogged about it on Tech Community for using Power Automate to either send yourself a more elaborate email, right? Because once you're in Power Automate, and we can show it here too, but once you're in Power Automate, the action is, form response received, and then what do I want to do after that? And then you got tons of things you can do. So it might be as simple as send me an email, but it's a little more elegant than your typical email because I can make that email look however I want, say whatever I want, maybe grab some info from the form and put it in there. So even with email, there's a cool, I was looking at Nash's little sign there. So even with email, there's some cool options. But we can also do things, and I think this is what I blogged about, we even take that form response and post it to my team in a channel. So a message to the channel that maybe says something as simple as, hey, form is received, click here to see it, or again, grabbing some data from the form and posting specific data to the form. And then, or push it out to Excel, push it out to a SharePoint list. So that, the kind of options are endless. So that was good old Nash.
All those times I have seen that background. I never realized he has a team sticker. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe it was somehow in the background. I don't know. But there was a team sticker I thought that was on one of his cabinets.
Oh, really?
Cracked me up.
Yeah. So good stuff. For those that are here, I don't know if you guys, have come a while, have like a particular tip that sticks out to you from the past. You know, maybe something that you went out in the world and impressed somebody, and never even told them you got it from Cute for Teams. You just said acted like it was all your idea. But any tip like that, if anybody's got it, that'd be cool to reminisce on. So you appreciating the guidance around what and when we get access in the government tenant. Yep, for sure. Then of course you got today's tip about control shift space, so that's good.
Right. I threw the link in there for all the keyboard shortcuts. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember sharing that one before, but surely we have.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, let's see. Looking for, okay, so and then Stacy's, oh yeah, your table about the co-organizer roles and all the roles in teams. That was another good tip. Some good stuff there. AI guidance. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We appreciate you all for joining every week. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start looking through the chat and just taking questions. Obviously, you can put your questions in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can come off mute. All those things. It's a full fidelity Teams meeting here.
Glenn started us off, I think, at the beginning. He wasn't into all the 100-episode pomp and circumstance. He wanted to go straight
Right.
to the question. But right at 11:02, he had a question about PowerPoint and getting it to show in the options of PowerPoint Live in Teams. And I don't know that there is any certain magic. So let's say you're working on a PowerPoint, you save it, you're ready to present it, and then you go into Teams and there's a list of the available ones.
The step before that, though, which is maybe the magic, is saving it to OneDrive. So you create a PowerPoint and put it on your desktop. You're not gonna get that PowerPoint Live option. So it's either SharePoint or somewhere in the cloud is needs to be there to share it. So if I can recreate that experience. And so I think you're asking specifically about the listing here. So I hit share and then this listing. So I think maybe as I'm thinking through your question, it might be more this list is kind of it's like a recent kind of thing. There's several places in Office 365 that kind of talk about recent. And even myself, I'm thinking like, okay, I just created a doc. Why isn't it in the recent list there? So uh, however the AI is determining recent, I think might be the same kind of thing it's doing here. So it could be, I think it may be a good question is, yeah, I want my PowerPoint to show up in this list, but I don't really have control here. Now, for instance, I think this presentation one is the one I just created. And it showed up. I mean, I just did that this morning, so that one worked, but I'm guessing maybe you've created PowerPoints that just didn't show up in this list. So I don't know. I don't know what the rules are behind getting it in here, but at least for me, these are like all the PowerPoints I know that are on this demo environment. So it's pretty comprehensive. And then of course, the other thing to avoid all of that, the share button and everything, is to just go into PowerPoint and start relying on the little button there, present in Teams, and that will do it all for you. So it's ready to go. Once I hit present, the PowerPoint Live will start right up. There we go. So that will hopefully that helps. Yeah, so it's kind of like I don't know how to get something in that list, but you could ignore the list by just using the present in Teams button. So hopefully that helps. going through the chat here. Da-da-da. Looking forward to the together emojis where you can use the emoji and it will show an animation of the two people high-fiving each other.
Ricardo, do an experiment. Type parentheses high five and close parentheses to me in the meeting chat. Or it looks like someone else did. Yeah,
Okay.
Kimberly, we're high fiving.
Oh, so it worked? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that.
Isn't
So
that
you
cute?
guys on the recording or the video can't see it. I didn't even know that was there. How'd you got, what did I miss?
Apparently, in April on National High Five Day, we released a together emoji to make this action.
That's bananas. I can't believe Sachi didn't call me and tell me about that.
That's a great question, Minerva. I wonder if I can. Attempt it. Oh, I threw the link in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. Is this
You
it?
found it. This is it.
Okay. All right. So for those that aren't in the chat, maybe watching this on video, this is what just blew my mind over in the chat. It's crazy. Nice.
And I am going to test it in GCC real quick.
And now every meeting I'm in today, I will find a reason to put that in the chat.
I
My
don't
mind is blown.
actually know. I don't think it's a Teams meetings specific thing. I think it's a chat thing. So I'm curious if I do a one-to-one chat.
So I didn't seem to do it here, but I only have myself in this meeting. So I know you guys are, I mean, a lot of you are GCC. Maybe you could try it on your end, see if it works for you. Oh, so somebody's saying it works in GCC. Okay, awesome. Cool. Well, that is super cool.
I'm definitely making a GIF of this and putting it on LinkedIn. That's so cute.
Yeah. Awesome. Love all of the previews of upcoming features, like the waiting room. Yep. How to use it with applications. Oh, okay. That's a lot of questions about AI or general thoughts about AI. Yep. When will we all be replaced by the robots? Yep. I don't like to say replaced. I like to say I just try to make sure I'm friends with the robot so that when they take over, they will treat me nice. So okay, let's see. Present in Teams button in PowerPoint. Yes. So there's some questions. Oh, I don't know if that's a question or a suggestion, but if you weren't aware of the Present in Teams button in PowerPoint, it's up here. Hopefully you can see that. So that should be in your version of PowerPoint. Okay. Going through, I love that when I go back to presenting PowerPoint Live, it now asks if I want to pick up where I left off. Yeah, that's helpful when switching back and forth between PowerPoint Live and screen sharing. Yep. That's good stuff. The other tip about switching back and forth that I think we've talked about in the past, and hopefully you can see it in my screen share here, is as if you're in Windows 11 and you can see on the little icons, you got to share this window. So that instead of stopping sharing and then finding something and then starting sharing again, that's super awesome. The delay is like a half a second, if that. So it's kind of like it just goes off for a second and comes right back on with the new sharing. So that's a cool tip as well. Let's see. Going through, am I missing anything on the chats here? Can you give us some resources of how to roll out learning regarding AI enhancements?
Hmm.
So, because let me see, I was trying to think if obviously there's plenty of stuff that coming out and continuing to come out for that with all the buzz. And I was wondering if I remembered a kind of one-stop portal for AI stuff publicly. I know we got some internal stuff going on. Let me do a quick check. So for instance, just do this. So, because Copilot is kind of how a lot of that is going to surface for kind of the end users. I thought there was let's just do that for AI. That's probably not what you're looking for. This training material. Yeah. So I would say just keep your eyes out because all these AI things most of them are still in preview, or a lot of them, I should say. So the learning material will probably follow the GA release a lot of times. So actually, this one isn't looking too bad in terms of some nice info about the AI stuff. So this is just Microsoft.com/AI. But I would just say, yeah, keep your eyes out for it as it continues to evolve. Yeah. Okay. Somebody asked about Word live sharing, similar to Excel live sharing. I haven't heard anything about any Word live sharing. Yeah, haven't heard of that one. Let's see. Any news on the GCC user voice? I haven't heard anything about that either. Yeah. Give feedback. Okay, the give feedback is in a user voice placement. Yep. Okay, so you guys are talking about that in chat.
Yeah, that's available in Teams today for GCC. At least I've seen it in my GCC demo tenant, and it might still be rolling out.
Mm. And just guidance in general around Gov and Gov restrictions and whatnot. Certainly, your account team for your org, will have a CSM, and they live and breathe, kind of trying to keep up with what's going on in the Gov space. But the rest of the account team as well. I mean, if you got account team for your, state, local gov or public sector or anything like that, your account team's going to should be up to par on, what impacts any gov and sovereign cloud kind of issues that might affect you. So definitely reach out. Good stuff. You guys are kind of quiet today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was also thinking about one of my favorite tips. And so I've had some customers ask about this new Outlook. So, if I guess if I was to open the desktop app, you get the, switcher for trying out the new Outlook. And some folks aren't liking it. I mean, I guess it is very much like the Outlook for web, but it is not, as some people have claimed that it's just Outlook for the web with some kind of wrapper around it. It is a tad bit different. If you actually compare this side by side with the web, you see a couple differences. One of the main ones being that this new Outlook, again, which is still preview, but it does act a little more natively like Outlook desktop than opening up Outlook on your browser would. Biggest case in point is opening up a meeting, hitting join on a meeting in this new Outlook will immediately fire up Outlook Teams, the actual Teams meeting and the Teams client. If you're in a browser, depending on your settings, you might see it try to hit the browser and then ask you if you want to open up the client. So it's really treating it like a web browser that you clicked in versus a native one. So there are little things like that. But if you are really hugging and onto your Outlook desktop, that button there I don't think that means an imminent destruction of Outlook desktop. I think you still got time. But it's certainly worth trying out if you haven't tried out Outlook for the web or the new Outlook. So if anybody's out there that has tried it or loves it or hates it, feel free to come off mute or put it in the chat. I'd love to hear some comments. I am a big fan of it. I mean, even before the button, I was using Outlook on the web as a preference over the desktop, mainly because it's just a lot of modern features that they're adding here that aren't in desktop. And it's a similar thing, similar life cycle to OneNote, which many of you know I love. And OneNote Desktop versus OneNote for Windows, or the modern OneNote. Even today are still things in that OneNote Desktop that OneNote for Windows doesn't do, and I just use them both. But in the case of Outlook, I do like it. It feels like they just put a lot of features for how we work in today's world. But the biggest one, as I went around the horn just to talk about my big tip for Outlook, the one I live by these days, and I can no longer live without, and that's why I can't go back to desktop unless they add it, is Snooze. Does anybody, by a show of thumbs up or something, know about Snooze or use it every single moment of their day? So Snooze, if for emails in your inbox, if you right click on it or even look up in the menu, you get this Snooze. And you have these options here, some pre-canned ones or choose your own. What it's going to do basically is just put it basically almost like a draft and bring it back at the time you specify as if it's brand new. So why do I care about this? So this message from Ricardo comes in. I'm really busy right now, but I do want to address it, and I try to keep my inbox clean. I'm basically telling Outlook to remind me of that message again. I'm going to snooze it till later today. It just goes away. It's out of sight, out of mind, but it will come back at 2:00 as if it's new. And now I chose 2:00 because I know that's probably when I'll be freed up. So I snooze things, and some of the pre-created ones are awesome. I snooze things for this evening. That means I can't handle it during my work day. I'll look at it after work. Tomorrow, right? Most times that's usually a weekday. So hit me with it in, as soon as I start my day. I love this one. Throw it to this weekend. That's something that's probably not even work related. I do want to read it. Let me read it when I got my cup of coffee and, I'm chilling on a Saturday in front of my computer to, do that. And then of course, next week, right on Monday morning. And then if I want some other time, I can choose any day or time I want, including far in the future. So if you're one of those getting things done people, you like ticklers, you want to be reminded of that email or delay that until the 21st. You could snooze it for then too. And I just use these all the time. And so what ends up happening to me at 6 p.m., I get 15 emails all of a sudden from the day. On Saturdays at 10, I get 20 emails because I've been snoozing them all week. On Monday morning, I get, however many. And I just love it because then it just means without it, I would have to either flag it or find a way to kind of go back in my inbox and figure out which ones I wanted to address versus kind of collecting them all in these points and times that I know I'll be more free to use it. So that is absolutely part of my workflow now. I can't use any mail client that doesn't have Snooze. If Snooze goes away, I won't make it. So. So that's the one. It's one of many features that I like here, but that's one that is just must have for me these days. I'm addicted to that one. So.
And now I'll be. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
I do love that.
Awesome. Yeah.
I need that in my life.
Yeah. Now, it only works for the ones in your inbox. If you start moving things into other folders and want to snooze them there, it's not going to do that. It's for snoozing inbox items. So I learned that one the hard way. So I don't know if anybody else is using that one, but that's a good one. Hopefully it's one good tip I can give you. See, you guys are talking about loop in the chat. It's cool. I think I may have promised this group a loop demo. I don't think I've done that yet, so I need to put that on the list. Especially as there's still some things rolling out for loop. So I have to check and see what its current state is in GCC maybe before I do that demo. Because I know the one thing is that having that one place where all your loops show up. And Stacy, I don't know if you know if that's hit GCC yet, but that is the ultimate goal is, yes, I've got these loops all over the place, but can I go one place and see all the loops that I'm a part of? So that's a key piece as well. Awesome. What else is going on out in the world? Wait, is Nash in the meeting? Nash, are you out there?
No.
Oh, we conjured him. I don't know, Nash, if you were on when we showed the video clip.
No.
But we brought back the old when you went off for coffee with your little I don't know if you remember that. You had a little sign and a little stuffed animal. And that was our favorite moment from the last 100 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for those that are newer, Nash is lurking in the background, but he's also one of the Cute for Teens champions. There he is. You're coming. There you go. Hey. He didn't get the memo about the background and the t-shirt though. Yeah. Awesome. What else out there? I feel like I do see a couple new names. So if this is your first time, welcome. I think I see a hand up, or maybe it was. Is there a hand? All right. Well, for future sessions, at least in my mind, I've got loop on the menu. Certainly, as AI stuff like Copilot and those things start showing up, we'll certainly show those things. I don't know if people are interested in learning more about the new Outlook. I can certainly go there with that. So yeah, anything you are interested in, like a full demo of, put it in chat or bring it up at any given week. We can certainly go through that. And as you all know, I love old school topics like good old SharePoint and OneNote, stuff like that. So if anybody wants to dive that deep into, it's kind of like opening the hood of Teams and talking about some of the inner workings, we're good for that too. I do see your hand, Glenn. You got something for us?
Yes, on that, having a PowerPoint display in the PowerPoint live share screen.
Mm-hmm.
If you save the PowerPoint to files on your team site,
mm-hmm.
Would be in SharePoint. Would that be as good as saving it to OneDrive?
I
to make it
believe so,
display?
because I believe, like, as we're looking here, I think these are from my Teams files. So I believe that will work too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, pretty sure that's where that's coming from. Morale event, I think, is sitting. Where am I? See there's morale event. So search works, and that's in project team morale event general. So yep, I think that confirms that one. And also confirmed that search is cool. Awesome. Well, it's cool hanging out with you all in this 100th episode, and so 101's coming up. And I saw one question there. Webinar change capacity at 1,000. I'm not sure what. So I know, yeah, Teams meetings can hold 1,000. Webinars are essentially Teams meetings with some registration and whatnot. So yes, a webinar holds 1,000 users. Yes. So hopefully that's
Hey,
what
sorry,
you're looking.
I figured if I got off of mute, it'd be faster for me to speak than it
Okay.
is for me to type.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to get the message clear here. It used to be that you could have 1,000 interactive users in Teams and webinars. And then after the 1,000, you could have 10,000 non-interactive users.
Mhm.
So in webinar, since that capacity is now limited to 1,000, is that additional 9,000 people still available for non-interactive for webinars?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right. That's kind of what I think we call overflow.
Mhm.
So I don't think anything's changed there. That is as Amanda's pointing out, that is a feature that you gotta turn on. It's not automatic. But yes, after 1,000, they kick into kind of a view only mode if you have enabled it. And then of course all of that is different from live events, which is 10 or 20,000 from the jump, but of course not full fidelity. It's viewing and Q&A. But yes, in general, you're correct. What you were thinking, 1,000 and then 9,000 more with the overflow feature.
So if you have a webinar that has a registration, is the registration only going to allow you to take 1,000 people?
Is that what it is, Stacy?
Yeah.
The registration cuts off. Okay.
Mhm.
So you wouldn't be able
if
to have overflow.
I guess the
Yeah,
overflow would still
excellent point. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't it still kick in even if you weren't able to register them? I mean, if you've turned the feature on, I would imagine the 1,000 and first person kicks into the overflow even. Well, I guess how did they get there, right? If they weren't able to
Yeah, and
register.
if you've required registration,
Yeah.
you have to register to get in.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
And of
but
course,
if
if
you
you need
haven't
more than
required
1,000,
registration
Yeah.
and it's not registering folks, then I don't see why the overflow wouldn't apply.
right? And then of course, if you know you need more than 1,000, then that's when live event would probably be the better option.
Yeah, but yeah, so some clarification on that would be really great.
Okay. In terms of how that registration works, is that what you're saying?
Right, the registration and 1,000 people capacity and the
Yeah.
the overflow.
Right.
If you have registration, if you don't have registration,
Yeah.
because that I think that changed recently. Because it used to be that you didn't have a capacity setting before when you did a webinar. I mean,
Okay. You'll have to check on that one.
Yeah, same.
It looks like some folks in the chat, have been doing webinars, so capacity defaults to 1,000. Yep.
And that's with the idea that you can limit it to less than 1,000 if you want to. So if you have a mandatory training that only has capacity for 50 people at a time, you can make that registration link unavailable to the 51st person who tries to register. And that is new. The ability to limit the registration to the appropriate number below 1,000, that is.
Well, we appreciate everybody hanging on a few more minutes with us. Like I said, happy 100th, and see you in 2 weeks on 101st.
Yep,
Right.
we'll be
Have
here.
a great weekend.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out the blog for more content.